It's hard to overstate how important the Switch is for Nintendo. Almost all of its revenue comes from this one product, or the exclusive games the company develops for it. Its popularity since 2017 has driven Nintendo's share price to an all-time high. And everything's riding on the Switch 2, keeping that trend going.
Nintendo is at the most successful point in its history and also one of the riskiest.
And here's why. The Nintendo DS, 154 million sold. The follow-up 3DS, 76 million. The Wii, 102 million sold. The follow-up Wii U, oh dear. And the Nintendo Switch, almost the best-selling console of all time, 152 million sold. No pressure then.
It's the first console in Nintendo's history that is kind of the same thing, but just a little bit bigger and a little bit better.
Depending on who you ask, Mario is either Japan's most successfully exported two-dimensional tradesperson or a delusional reckless driver with a princess obsession. Either way, his antics consistently help Nintendo shift hundreds of millions of consoles.
The Switch is soon to be the best-selling console of all time.
It's made over $100 billion in revenue for Nintendo.
You can play on your TV and then you can pick up and take on the go.
It really had a very compelling price point.
It came in at around $300, which was lower than the PlayStation and Xbox.
Let's go back to 1889. It was an eventful year. Van Gogh painted this. Washington became the 42nd American state, and 29-year-old Fusajiro Yamauchi founded Nintendo here in Kyoto. His business was Hanafuda, or flower cards. Formerly prohibited by Japanese authorities for their association with gambling, a great unclenching of the law in the late 19th century created a legitimate market, and one Nintendo entered. Despite not inventing them, its colourful playing cards bankrolled it for decades. The groundbreaking Famicom, later known globally as the Nintendo Entertainment System, propelled the company in the 1980s, much as its handcrafted playing cards had a century earlier. Innovation hasn't always worked out so well, and 3 missteps in particular taught Nintendo lessons evidently learnt from and applied to the Switch. In the early 90s, the company had a partnership with these guys to create a CD-based game system, but the deal fell apart.
Sony wound up taking that technology and making its own console, the PlayStation, which really started a whole new rival and competitor for Nintendo, and Nintendo wound up losing some of its biggest third-party publishers and partners.
A year later, Nintendo would learn its biggest lesson.
Welcome to the world of Wii U.
The Wii U was a new console, a successor to the Wii that used a tablet as the controller.
Which was a complete disaster and really put the company under a lot of strain. In many ways, indeed, the failure of the Wii U is what led to the success of the Switch.
From a business perspective, it is exactly what Nintendo needed to do.
You only have to look at where Nintendo sources its revenue. In a typical year, about 93 to 95% of revenue comes from the Switch. The price point of Switch 2 was definitely a surprise to gamers and investors.
I think that Nintendo has to worry a little bit that not only will people pause at spending $450 on a new console, plus however much hundreds of dollars on games and accessories and subscription services for that console, but also that due to the tariffs and other kind of unpredictable forces, they might have to hike the prices.
In short, Nintendo's in a good place. As long as the world remains excited to race a plumber against a princess and a mushroom.